Hey guys, this is my part two of my NFL mock draft. I did part one earlier, and I did picks from 1 to 12, so I'll be doing picks 13 to 22 now, and then I'll do part three later. So with the 13th pick, it's the New Orleans Saints. Again, like I did in my part one, a lot of teams took a pass rusher. And I think it'll be the same with the Saints. I think they'll take Alvin Bud Dupree from Kentucky. He's one of my favorite players in this draft, and I think the Saints would be getting a really good prospect, for now, but for the future even better. So I think that would be a brilliant pick for the Saints. At 14, it's the Dolphins. In my last mock draft, I had them taking a wide receiver. I probably would have done it again if the wide receivers available were worthy of going there. But I had Devontae Parker going there, but I've got him going to the Browns now at 12. And from what I've been hearing, they're really, really interested with Todd Gurley, the running back. So I think they'll go with Todd Gurley. They've got a need, and he's an exceptional talent at the running back position. So I think that would be, a great pick for the Dolphins to get Todd Gurley, who's from Georgia. So played really well for Georgia as well in college. He was, just some of his runs were just incredible. He's got that Adrian Peterson type ability. So I think the Dolphins might take Todd Gurley. I think there's a good chance of it, considering I think there's one or two positions they would maybe want to take instead, but the players they would want to take at that position are gone, and I don't think they'll want to reach for someone who's not worthy of going at that range in the first round. So I think they'll go with Todd Gurley. At 15 is the 49ers. I think they're going to take Danny Shelton from Washington, the nose tackle. Obviously, with Justin Smith retiring, I know he's not a nose tackle; he's more of a defensive tackle. But they've got a big need in the interior of that line. It's not Ray McDonald. They released last season. And now Justin Smith. I think he's retired now, so they could do with really beefing up the interior of their line. So I think they'll go with Danny Shelton, which would be a great pick at that stage in the first round. At 16, it's the Texans. I think they'll go wide receiver. Obviously, they lost Andre Johnson, their main guy for the last 12 or whatever, how many years it's been. And I think they'll go with Brashard Perryman from UCF. 6'4", I think he is, and the speed for that size he's got is just incredible. And I think he's going to be a star in the NFL. So I think the Texans will go with Perryman. Then it's the San Diego Chargers. It's quite tricky actually with the Chargers, because there's a few ways they could go, but it's difficult to say because they've not got, even though they're not picking lower down in the first round, they haven't got a whole load of needs. Basically, they've got some very decent players at a lot of positions. So it's quite hard to predict the Chargers, but I think they're going to go with Landon Collins, the safety from Alabama. I think that would be a great pick for the Chargers. As I said, they're probably maybe the hardest team for me to pick a player for, because there's not really a major position that stands out to me anyway. So I think they could go with quite a lot of positions, but I think they'll go with Landon Collins because he's probably the best player available at that stage, by far the best safety. It's not a great safety class, so considering that, I think he'll go to the Chargers at 17. Then it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs have the makings of a great defense. They just need one or two more little, bits there. I would have gone wide receiver if they didn't get Jeremy Maclin in free agency, but obviously they did. and I think they'll try and get a number 2 option in the second round. So I think they'll go cornerback and they'll go Kevin Johnson. Just a really good athlete basically, and he's got the potential to be really good in that defense as well. They get so much pressure up front. The cornerbacks won't have to cover wide receivers for a long time because the pass rush will get there. It's one of the best in the league, so I think that would be a great pick there. Then it's the Browns. With the Browns, obviously, if I didn't put Marcus Mariota in that big trade with the Eagles, there's a good chance he would have slipped out to number 12, and then I think the Browns would have took him there, and then maybe took a wide receiver to pair him with for next season. Both 2 first-round talents, coming into the league at in the same year basically, and trying to get a really good understanding. But because Marcus Mariota's not going to be there, I think, and I could have put Danny Shelton at 12 and then a wide receiver now, but I just think Devontae Parker was too good to pass on. So I think with him going to the Browns at 12, I think now they'll address the defensive tackle position, and I think they'll take Eddie Goldman from Florida State. Florida State has so many great players in this year's draft. I did have him in my previous mock draft going to the Patriots at 32, which I still think is possible, and I would hope that because I really like him as a player. But I think the Browns, is it a reach? Not particularly. Ideally you'd maybe want to get him in the 20s, but I think at this stage I think they'll take him. So, and then there's 2 teams left in my part 2. 21 and 22 are the Bengals and the Steelers. Pretty simple. I think they'll both go offensive line. I think the Bengals will go with Brandon Scherff from Iowa because he can play tackle and the guard spot. He's really versatile, and he's at that point it's great value in getting him. And then the guy I think who will go to the Steelers is just a tackle. I mean, he could play guard, but he's not as versatile as Brandon Scherff, but I think his ability and his overall star quality I think is better, and that's La'el Collins from LSU. I think he'll go to the Steelers at 22. Their tackle positions aren't great at the minute, so I think that would be a good pick for the Steelers. So that's my part 2. I'll have my part 3 up in a bit, and hope you guys enjoyed it. See you soon.